Alright guys, let's do chapter 14 EX4 stage today, which is another stage that's weak against green. So once again, I'll be using the free-to-play green DPS, which is going to be Mojito here. Now the strategy I am going to show you guys is going to be identical to the one I used for EX3 stage. And personally, I actually find EX4 to be easier than EX3. So if you already follow my guide on how to be EX3 stage, this one should be very straightforward for you guys, okay? Now, so obviously in terms of the team lineup, you have Mojito as a green DPS, and then you have three SR supporters, etc. Now, in terms of recollections, you better have Pride, which everyone should have from a formidable foes, and then two SR recollection who everyone should have as well. Mutual trust is the other one that's going to be needed. You don't have to be mutual trust because the only ability I'm using here is actually the passive ability of 10 curse energy. So you can also use there's another SSR recollection called I think a Magnificent Stride Forward. You can also use that one. That one has the same dupe one ability of 10 curse energy for all of your allies. So either of those two recollections fine. You will see in my gameplay later on, I never even activated Mutual Trust. So you definitely don't need the damage reduction aspect for this recollection. Okay, so that's basically going to be the choice of the team lineup. Now, in terms of strategy, so basically for this stage, there's only like one thing you need to be slightly wary of, which is when this enemy boss appears on the third wave, even when you kill him off the first time, he's actually going to be resurrected with I think like 50% ish HP. So basically, you have to kill him twice. Okay, now the nice thing about this, and also it's kind of the reason why Pride is so good, is that if you actually take a look at the Pride's ability, you'll realize it's actually going to last for 8 turns and it can be used for 2 times, on top of the fact that it can also be stacked. So the key strategy here, I guess, is that you want to basically stack up Pride twice, alongside with all of the other buff and debuff as well, obviously. And then on turn 6, what you're going to do is you're going to use Mojito's ultimate attack, okay? So this is going to be not able to actually kill off the boss, but you will be able to break him, and to break him almost into like the last 10% ish of HP. And then what we're going to do on turn 7 is you are actually going to use his skill 1, which is a physical attack, so it's not going to eat up the 2 price stacks. And then on turn 8, when the enemy boss has resurrected with 50% HP remaining, you are then going to use his Mojito skill 3. And remember, your Pride will still have both of their 2 stacker buff from the second time, because you have never used it on until your ultimate attack. So that's basically why you would be able to actually kind of almost able to kill off the enemy with the first stack of pride, or the first time of 2 stacks of pride on his ultimate attack, and then wipe out the enemy's second HP bar once he resurrected with the second times of the 2 stacks of pride on Mojito's skill 3. So that's basically the idea you want to do here. Now, because you need to make sure your Mojito is able to actually use his domain expansion or his ultimate attack on turn 6, otherwise pride will expire if you are a bit too late to that. So what you don't have to make sure you do is you need to kill off the first 2 wave of the enemies in the first 5 turns. And it just so happens in this stage, the first 2 waves, they're actually 6 enemies. So basically, you need to kill off 6 enemies in 5 turns. And that's kind of why you will see me still using, on my very first turn, I'll be using the debuff and also the buffing skill on all of my characters straight away, just so that I can ensure my Mojito is actually able to one-shot. And then the other thing you also have to bear in mind on the first wave is that Mojito is able to one-shot one enemy and then also one-shot another enemy on the second turn. However, for the third enemy, what you're going to do is you will be using the normal attack on your 3 supporters on the second turn to kill off them. So you have to make sure your targeting of your 3 supporters are going to be different to the targeting of the enemy on Mojito. And this way you're able to kill off all 3 of the enemies on the first wave in the first 2 turns. And then for the second wave, you then have turn 3, turn 4, turn 5 to kill them off. Now, what you want to do on your Yaga enemy is they want to be start buffing up, so that by the time of turn 6, when you use your domain expansion, you have all 4 stacks of buff from Yaga and enemy. So Yaga and enemy will just be buffing, start buffing. Now for Gaku Genji, you don't actually need to use his debuff skills, because once you kill off the enemy and the new enemy appears in wave 3, they wouldn't have the debuff anyway, so there's no need for you to waste your cursor energy to use a debuff skill. So instead, what you're going to see me do is I'll just be using Gakugenji skill 1 to do a bit of chip damage, and then Mahito skill 1 to finish off the enemy, and I'll be repeating that 3 times, and therefore kill off all of the enemy's second wave. And then when the enemy's third wave appears, what is going to happen is that hopefully your Nanami or Yaga would have been hit in this battle, and therefore you will be able to charge up your ultimate attack, and therefore you can do one of them and combo up with Mahito in order to do huge chunk of damage to the enemy's first HP bar, and your Gakugenji will be doing your debuff skill, and the other person from Yaga or Nanami who's not using the ultimate attack for combo will also be using up a straight buff. Now, if you are actually very lucky or unlucky with the targeting on Nanami and Yaga, in the sense that they didn't get hit, so you don't actually have both of their ultimate attack charged up, what you can actually do instead is you can swap this Death by Wasp with this Recollection that everyone should have on hidden inventory. Now, this Recollection has a slightly lower buff than Death by Wasp, which is kind of why I still use Death by Wasp if possible. However, the nice thing about this is it does have a passive ability which is able to increase ultimate gauge. So if you do actually use this one instead of Death by Wasp, then you should in theory be able to charge up the ultimate attack on at least one of Nanami or Yaga, and therefore you can do that combo attack with Mahito on turn 6. And then on turn 7, like what I mentioned, you'll be using normal attack from Mahito to actually finish off the enemy. And then on turn 8, what you're going to do is you will be using your Mahito skill 3, still under the influence of the 2 Sacks of Pride, and also at the same time for the Gakugenji and also the other member of Yaga and Nanami who didn't use combo attack early on will now be doing their ultimate attack. So basically you have one combo attack from Gakugenji and one of Yaga and Nanami, and then Mahito finish off the enemy with his skill 3.
教育者として負けられるな。そうさの。片付けます。はい。始めようか。ここが踏ん張りどころです。では教育の時間だ。ほらほら。参る。片付けます。相手の動きを観察。始めようか。行くぞ。ほらほら。注意を置く。そうさの。片付けます。相手の。始めようか。決まっていきましょう。では教育の時間だ。ほらほら。そうさの。片付けます。どうしようかな。ここが踏ん張りどころです。授業を始めよう。行くぞ。ほらほら。そうさの。手早く済ませます。相手の。どうしようかな。ここが踏ん張りどころです。では教育の時間だ。ほらほら。俺から何もありそうなやつだね。さて行きますよ。相手の今ならいけるね。では教育の時間だ。対象の7対3の点を弱点にする。私からは以上です。領域展開。自閉円頓か。やるな。決めます。いいね。放棄。片付けます。さて準備はいい。始めようか。決まっていきましょう。くらい。ほらほら。放棄。手早く。さて準備。どうしようかな。ここが踏ん張りどころです。行くぞ、総力戦だ。これで払い切る。やご。はい。 無意転バカな。ま、こんなもんか。